Hello, I'm Colleen Gallagher, CEO at OnWrd UpWrd, and you're listening to the Association Insights podcast, where each week we interview association leaders from across the country to hear how they're trying new things, taking big risks, and delivering value for their members. We'll explore the realities of what it means to work in and with associations and bring you the insights and inspiration you need to advance your career and make big changes at your association. Let's get started.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Association Insights podcast. I'm Colleen Gallagher, CEO of OnWrd UpWrd and host of the Association Insights. If you're listening to this episode as it drops on December 31st, thanks for being here on the very last day of 2025. And if you're catching it a little later, that's okay too. This one is meant to be reflective, grounding, and forward-looking, no matter when you press play. This year, we aired 53 episodes, and that included interviews, roundtables, series, encore episodes, and a few solo conversations where I shared what I'm seeing across the association space. And as I was reviewing every episode we released this year, one thing became very clear. Associations are not standing still, and they are being asked to rethink almost everything. So today I want to reflect on what we heard, what we learned, and most importantly, what association leaders should be thinking about as we head into 2026. So what 2025 made clear, let's start with the big picture. Across every series we did, so media, advocacy, leadership, Gen Z, AI, sponsorships, member value, big ideas, there was a consistent undercurrent. Uncertainty is the environment, but strategy is the response. In 2025, associations were navigating political and regulatory shifts, economic uncertainty and risk planning, workforce changes and burnout, member skepticism and rising expectations, rapid advances in AI and technology, and as always in the association world, pressure to do more with fewer resources. But what stood out, it wasn't panic, it was intentionality. Leaders weren't chasing shiny objects. They were asking better questions. What actually matters to our members right now? What can we stop doing? Where does our voice actually make a difference? Some core themes that showed up again and again as I looked back at these episodes. First, relationships are the strategy. We opened the year talking about media and came full circle back to the same idea by December. But whether it was journalists, policymakers, members, sponsors, partners, or even staff, relationships are the multiplier. So from journalists explaining how trust and relevance drive coverage, advocacy leaders emphasizing bipartisan long-term relationship building, sponsorship professionals reframing partners as collaborators, or DMOs showing up as strategic allies, not vendors, the takeaway was consistent. Transactions do not build influence, relationships do. Number 2, member value is being redefined fast. In 2024, if 2024 was talking about member value, 2025 was about testing it. And we heard real examples of associations launching freemium models, simplifying their membership categories, using data to understand engagement, not just renewals, investing in personalization and onboarding, and letting go of programs that no longer resonated. Perhaps most importantly, we saw leaders acknowledging something out loud. Value isn't what we list, it's what members experience. Belonging, trust, relevance, and outcomes, those came up way more than benefits, discounts, or access. Number 3, data is only powerful if it's used. And this is so important. We talked a lot about data this year, but not in a hypey way like we've done in past times. Instead, we heard really practical, honest conversations about starting small, breaking down silos, creating a single source of truth, which I thought was a really important finding there. Measuring behavior, not just opinions. Using dashboards to adjust, not just report. The message was so refreshingly consistent, and it was that being data-driven does not mean being perfect. It means being willing to change. Number 4, AI is a leadership decision, not a tech one. And I loved this. Our AI series made one thing very clear. Associations are no longer asking if they should explore AI. They're asking how to do it and how to do it responsibly. Across multiple episodes, leaders emphasized starting with policy before tools, using AI to save time, not replace people, keeping humans in the loop, aligning AI use with mission and values, focusing on member benefit, not internal novelty. And the most successful examples, they weren't flashy, they were thoughtful, they were ethical, and they were grounded. And last but not least, number 5, culture determines whether strategy succeeds. And this showed up everywhere in our leadership conversations, in our Gen Z engagement, in innovation and lean thinking, in turnarounds and in transformations. We heard over and over that psychological safety enables innovation, clarity beats consensus, small experiments reduce big risks, teams move faster when roles are clear, and culture eats methodology every time. The strongest associations, they weren't the biggest or the best funded. They were the most aligned. So when we think about these, what should we be reflecting on as you close out 2025? I think as you think about your own association, here are a few questions that were inspired for me directly by this year's conversation that you could ask yourself. Where did we actually create values for our members this year? What did we keep doing out of habit, not impact? Where are we overcomplicating things? Who haven't we listened to enough? Members, staff, partners? And what did we learn that we haven't acted on yet? Reflection is not about judgment, it's about direction. So when we think about direction, what do we need to be thinking about for 2026? Well, based on everything we heard this year, here's what I believe associations need to be prioritizing as you head into 2026, grounded fully in what our guests have shared with me. Fewer priorities, clearer ownership. Deeper engagement, not broader reach. Smarter experimentation over big bets. Member experience across the full year, not just renewal or events. Communication as a strategic function, not a support role. Technology that supports people, not the other way around. And leadership that listens, adapts, and acts. 2026, it's not going to be about reinventing everything. It's going to be about doing the right things better and more intentionally. So as I wrap this final episode of 2025, I really just want to say thank you. Thank you to every guest who shared their story honestly. Thank you to the members of my team who hosted some of these episodes. Thank you to every single listener who sent a note, who shared an episode, or just brought these conversations into your team meetings or boardrooms. And thanks for spending your time with us in a year that had asked a whole lot from association leaders and professionals. We're going to be back in 2026 with more conversations, more case studies, and more practical insight into what's working, what's changing, and how associations can continue to lead with clarity and confidence. So until then, I hope you all take care of yourselves, take care of your teams, and just keep doing the work that matters. Happy New Year.
That's a wrap for today's episode. The Association Insights Podcast, previously known as the Association 100 Podcast, is a production of OnWrd and UpWrd Marketing and Communications, where our mission is to make associations and nonprofits the go-to source in their industries through earned media and thought leadership. This podcast is an extension of our newsletter, a bi-monthly collection of best practices, top trends, helpful ideas, and smart strategies delivered straight to your inbox. Have you undertaken a big change at your association? Or do you have some words and wisdom from the trenches of association life? We want to hear from you, and so do our listeners. Drop us a note at info@onwardupwrd.com. That's info@onwrdupwrd.com. Be sure to subscribe, give us a 5-star review, and share with your friends and colleagues. We're available anywhere podcasts are found. Come back next week for more association insights and inspiration. Thanks for tuning in.